start.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roster moves just responded to get pitched 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row, and just really those kind of games is what happens to us. From the standpoint, you want protection, make sure you have some length, and if something would happen early on to Ellie Iser today, get hit by a ball or something like that, then it would really put us, would end up using a lot of guys that we don't want to use. So just protection.
Cooper, just how's he feeling after, like you said, what you saw, the scare and all that yesterday at the elbow?
No, Cooper's sore, pretty sore today. Him and Bert, sore just from that collision. They both seem to be okay. So kind of dodged. I feel like we dodged the bullet with Coop. I actually walked in with him this morning, and he was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, haven't seen a lineup. Is he in the lineup today, or
Coop is not?
Okay.
No.
They're available though. But,
Yes.
Once the rosters go back to 26, I know last year was big. You guys didn't really have a conventional long man. Is that something you will want to have?
Well, it'd be something we'll talk about. Obviously the roster is something you think about too. Guys that are optionable and that you can move back and forth just for situations like yesterday. So it's going to be a tough call on. We have to drop 2 guys out of the bullpen, and which direction we go with that. So that'll be a conversation that we've kind of been having a little bit, seeing how things go. Kind of help us, another 2 weeks of seeing things will probably help that decision too.
Don, I know these schedule makers didn't do you any favors, but I know you've been pretty competitive through the first 8 games, pretty solid on the West Coast. So how would you assess the way your team has progressed right now? I know you got St. Louis coming in today. The worst case scenario is you have a split, in terms of the team's progress.
Well, obviously today is a good day to win a series. So we're not going to look back. Okay with the way we played on the West Coast. San Francisco, I thought we played well, just didn't, get the wins. As far as the schedule, for me, I don't think it's every day, right? You play a good team every day. You get a chance to win a game, doesn't matter who you're playing. We're capable of beating anybody, but we're also capable of getting beat by anybody. So, schedule is the schedule. So I think we're okay.
Another question I have real quickly is Marcus Stames, the new hitting coach. How would you say that the team has responded to him? I know that takes a little time to get used to a new hitting coach, but talk to me about Marcus Staines, please.
Yeah, I feel good about Marcus. I see Marcus play as a player. I had him as a player in LA. Obviously, he's accomplished as a hitting coach. I think him and Edouard make a good team. Obviously, Dunk is still here working with us also as a quality control guy. So we've got hitting guys all over the place, it feels like. But Marcus is solid, and he talks to these guys. The communication is good. I feel like we're in a good spot, quite honestly. Yesterday's game didn't go very well. The 2 before that, I liked what we were doing up there. We really forced guys up in the strike zone the other day against Eflin and Gibson. They forced these guys to throw strikes, and that's really what you ask for. If to have good game plans, guys to respect who they're working with, and kind of move on.
Last year you called NL East like a black and blue division. Do you see it playing out that way this year too?
Yeah, a little bit. You do feel like that. Phillies they got a good club. The Mets got a good club. The Braves are always good. The Nationals are a good club. So again, these are the teams that you play basically 19 times a year. So that's a lot of games with teams that are going to be playing each other, right? So that no matter who's leading the division at the time, whoever they're playing, the team's capable of beating them a lot. There's going to be a lot of those series, right? So it is going to be black and blue. I think with the new format, just with a couple extra teams making it, you got to be concerned with playing good every day. You can't worry about just your division. If you can go out and win your division, great. But after that, it's like, the next 2. So, games we win against St. Louis or whoever we play, right? Whoever's in that boat are going to be important games.
Any updates from Trevor after last night? I know the fastball velocity went down in that second inning. Any conversations with him and thoughts on how good he did coming in the league?
There are definitely conversations. Mel, him and Trevor were meeting, but they're not meeting about his velocity. When you throw almost 40 pitches in the first year, Velo's probably going to go down. But Trevor traditionally has dipped a little bit as the game goes on, so nothing really to worry about as far as him not being healthy. And I thought Cody was really good. You know, he came in, did a nice job. He's going to end up being a big part of what we're doing over the course of this year.
I know he's not moved reliever, but Leyland's here just as a precaution in case something were to be, if things were more serious than it ended up being.
Exactly. Yeah, and Aggie hits that ball off his knee yesterday, and if it was just Coop, we had pretty good feelings it'd be okay. But we had two guys last night, both first basemen, that were like, kind of did something that we may have had a problem, right? So we've dodged that bullet this morning, it looks like. If nothing happens today, they obviously is on the taxi, but we'll have to make a decision after the game.
You talked last night after the game, the inability to get the third out in innings kind of hurt you. Kind of a little bit the same for Eliezer in his first start out in Anaheim. What are you hoping to get out of this afternoon?
Just cleaner. I thought Eliezer did not look sharp early on. I think it's a little bit of an indication what happened to him his last outing in spring. He pitches one inning. So in like a 12, 13-day period, this guy only threw one inning. Felt like as that game went on, he got sharper. You could see his stuff kind of ticking up. His breaking ball got in the zone. His changeup came back to him. So just the reps hopefully helped him out there. And just that he's sharper. That's the biggest thing is you never know this early in the season with the short spring. Guys had limited outings, so if they missed the big outing, it put them behind. And so that's what I think we've seen with Eliezer.
Do you welcome the time that you won't have to play your divisional opponents as much as you do as 19 times a year, and you see more ball clubs instead of the same old teams?
I like the fact when you play teams a lot, honestly, but I don't think much about the schedule other than like we got to try to win a game that night. More of a series to series to series, no matter who we're playing. So. And when you play teams in your own division, you have a really better feel for them. When you start going to Anaheim, we haven't played them in 3 years or 4 years. It's like you go out there, it's like trying to get ready for a team you don't even know what you kind of see on paper what they are. You see a little bit of video, but you don't really know what they do.
Yesterday, it's the second time now Miggy's had to move over to first. We did that however many years ago, but bringing in Wendell instead of Jazz, you kind of just want to keep Jazz at second these days, or?
No, more about giving Jazz a day. This dude plays high energy, right? And he's on his feet a lot, but he's hitting the ground a lot. And we've seen last year he missed a lot of games with little stuff, right? And I know everybody clamors for Jazz here and there, but which is great, right? They want to see him play, but I feel like we have a pretty good feel for. We want to keep this guy healthy through the course of the year. Those days off are good for him. He's just not one of those guys that's 6'2", 220, he's playing he plays fast, he's 175 or 80. It's like this guy's hitting the ground a lot.
He had some comments the other day about noting how growing up he had always hit in the top of the order. Is there any room for him this year where you may see him hitting in the 1 or 2 spot? I know he's hit 8th and 9th a lot this year.
Yeah, we all grew up hitting at the top of the order. So, no, we'll put Jazz in a good spot. He's came up a lot, no matter where he's been in the order with men on base. That's the way, if you have a good club, you're going to have a good lineup. That means there's going to be chances for everyone. Jazz is going to be a big part of it. I know the feeling of like if you're hitting down or on top, it's different, but it's really just the same at bats.
And BA with the 3 hits last night, obviously we know the struggles he's had. As a player yourself, when you play, can you talk about what it's like and what you really need to do to kind of persevere through those times of strife when things aren't going well at the plate?
Yeah, in VA, there's nothing wrong with VA from just basically getting healthy again. And we may say struggle, though. How many at bats does he have? Less than 10, right? So it's like these aren't struggles. These are just the start of the season. And either you have a good start, you have a bad start. Kind of here and there. It's over the long haul. VA, like we talked about, he's going to get plenty of at-bats. He's going to help us in a lot of different areas. So, no worries about Brian. As long as if our guys keep working, we know we're going to be fine. And that's the biggest thing. You talk about persevere. That means working when you're going good, working when you're going bad, and just keep your routines and keep going.
Thanks, Donnie.
Okay.
Is there